Sister, please. This way. Hello?
Hello there everybody, it's me the Canadian Movie Buff with a review of The Nun. Taking place in 1952, a priest named Father Burke is summoned by the Vatican to investigate the death of a nun at a Romanian monastery. He takes along with him Sister Irene, a novitiate nun who is yet to take her vows and is prone to preemptions and visions which could help his case. As they investigate deeper into the monastery, they come across something far more sinister than anything they could have ever prepared for. If there's one thing that stuck out in my mind from The Conjuring 2, and I'm sure in the minds of many other people, it's Valak, the demon-possessed nun. As someone who legitimately had nightmares about this character after seeing The Conjuring 2, I can only imagine how terrifying a movie solely about her would be. Walking out, I'm disappointed to say that she was better off as a side antagonist rather than the star of the show. One thing that has been consistently good with the Conjuring franchise is the cinematography. The directors of these films know how to use various camera angles and long tracking shots to help establish mood and give an overwhelming sense of helplessness. It really feels as if you've been swept away to a remote part of a European country and are now at the mercy of malevolent spirits. The acting is another strong attribute of these movies. Tessa Farmiga, the sister of Vera Farmiga, who plays Lorraine Warren, gives a strong performance, making even the low points of the script work to her advantage. And although the character of Sister Irene is not as experienced with demonology as Father Burke, she proves herself to be more than capable of handling her own. Damien Beecher also gives a strong performance as Father Burke. Again, the script doesn't really give him a whole lot to work with, but he takes what he has and elevates it to a whole nother degree. Now, the set design was a whole nother thing entirely. It was really hard to tell what was shot on location and what was shot on a set. Pairing that with the previously mentioned cinematography, and you get an overwhelming sense of dread that holds on to you throughout the entire movie. This movie has the one thing that plagues all horror movies, and is usually the first thing video essayers will tell you is wrong with the horror genre: jump scares. Now, the franchise is no stranger to this tactic, but in this movie, they kinda let the director go nuts for the loud booms and people rushing in from off screen. It eventually got to the point where you knew a jump scare was coming, but you weren't really scared of it, you just wanted to get it over with because you knew that they were drawing it out and you could tell that they were trying way too hard to surprise you, even though you definitely saw it coming. And usually when the movie relies on jump scares, that means they're not doing anything interesting with the villain, the horror icon. And unfortunately, that is the case with the nun. Valerie doesn't really do anything other than stand at the end of hallways looking scary, and when she does get an opportunity to really mess with our heroes, all she really does is just scream at their faces and then disappear. Now, this is the first movie in the timeline, so it would make sense that they would try and connect this movie to the Conjuring universe. However, it got a little bit too ambitious with trying to connect everything. In fact, it feels as if half the reason this movie exists is to serve as a history lesson for this cinematic universe. But the thing is, the people who are going to go see this movie, the core audience, have already seen the other four movies. They don't really need to play catch-up. For a movie that was sold to be the darkest chapter of the Conjuring universe, The Nun is relatively tame. It has some strong performances and technical work, but the way it handles its scares, the plot, and the dialogue really brought the movie down. If this is your first exposure to the Conjuring franchise, I'd say watch the main series. If you're a fan of the franchise, then you're not really missing anything here. It's a mediocre horror movie that's best worth seeing if it's at the cheap seats. Alright, that's my review of The Nun. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? What's your favorite movie of the Conjuring universe? Do you think it would be a good idea to do a sequel to The Nun? Kind of like with Annabelle Creation did with Annabelle. What do you think of the upcoming Crooked Man movie? Leave your answer by commenting down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe and hit the bell icon if you're new here. Back online. And as always, this is the Canadian Movie Buff saying I hope you had a fantastic weekend at the movies. See ya!